Netanyahu in Washington with Golan Heights recognition on tap. Breaking news: Congress expects Sunday evening briefing on Mueller report findings. Details to come. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in Washington Sunday, looking for an electoral boost from Donald Trump amid expectations the U.S. president will formally recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Trump broke long-standing international consensus last week over the status of the Golan Heights, which Israel seized from Syria in the 1967 Six-Day War, saying the U.S. should recognize Israeli sovereignty over the strategic plateau. Israel's foreign minister said the U.S. president will go one step further on Monday when he welcomes a grateful Netanyahu to the White House. President Netanyahu has long pushed for such recognition, and many analysts saw Trump's statement, which came in a tweet on Thursday, as a campaign gift ahead of Israel's April 9 polls. The Prime Minister is locked in a tough election fight with a centrist political alliance headed by former military chief Benny Gantz and ex-finance minister Yair Lapid. New opinion polls last week showed Netanyahu losing ground to his electoral rivals, and the Washington visit was seen as an opportunity to regain momentum. The Prime Minister has a working. Also Tuesday, he is to address the annual conference in Washington of the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee AIPAC. Gantz speaks at the Purim Miracle. The Golan Heights decision is the latest major move in favor of Israel by Trump, who in 2017 recognized the disputed city of Jerusalem as the country's capital. Syria and other states in the region condemned Trump's pledge, saying it violates international law. France said Israel annexed the Golan Heights in 1981 in a move never recognized by the international community. Netanyahu phoned Trump to tell him he had made history, and called the gesture a Purim. Although Trump professed no knowledge of the Israeli politics in play, Netanyahu's relationship with the U.S. president has long been a central feature of his campaign. Trump appears on giant campaign billboards in Israel, shaking hands and smiling with Netanyahu, and the premier has shared video of the U.S. leader calling him strong and a winner. On the same day as Trump's Golan Heights tweet, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was in Jerusalem, where he joined Netanyahu in a visit to the historic Western Wall, offering his host a prime pre-election photo opportunity. It was the first time such a high-ranking American official had visited one of the holiest sites in Judaism, located in mainly Palestinian East Jerusalem, with an Israeli premier. Trump relies on pro-Israel evangelical Christians as part of his electoral base and has moved U.S. policy firmly in Israel's favor. Personal things. But Netanyahu has also deployed his considerable powers of persuasion to charm the mercurial president he calls his friend. Trump. I am. There has been talk in recent weeks about similarities in style between Trump and Netanyahu, although there are key differences. Michael Oren, a former Israeli ambassador to the United States and now a deputy minister for diplomacy, said they. Using phrases that echo Trump's, Netanyahu has castigated the corruption investigations into his affairs as a witch. He has sought to demonize his enemies and brokered a deal with an extreme right political party many view as racist. Like Trump, he has employed the phrase fake. But, as Reinhold points out, underneath the rhetoric, the 69-year-old Netanyahu is an extremely. He has been prime minister for a total of 13 years and will be on track to surpass founding father David Ben-Gurion as Israel's longest-serving premier if he wins next month.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.